Hello, friends! Saturday mornings in my childhood. A sacred time when kids across America would wake up at the crack of dawn, grab a bowl of sugar disguised as cereal, and prepare to be completely brainwashed by a lineup of shows that, in hindsight, were clearly the result of some very questionable decision-making. And a huge majority of the shows that I watched came from two Canadian brothers, Sid and Marty Krofft. These guys were basically the Willy Wonkas of psychedelic children's television. Their shows had everything: oversized puppets, acid trip plot lines, and special effects so low budget they made my elementary school play look like a Broadway production. And yet I loved every second of it. Now, let's start with H.R. Pufnstuf, a show that had absolutely nothing to do with drugs, despite having a title that sounds suspiciously like an herbal appreciation society. The show followed Jimmy, a shipwrecked kid with a talking flute named Freddie, as they were relentlessly pursued by the wicked yet undeniably fabulous Witchy Poo, one of my all-time favorite characters. Now, normally in kids' shows, you root for the hero, but me, I was always Team Witchy Poo. I mean, all she wanted was the magic flute. Was that so wrong? Maybe if Jimmy had just shared Freddie, we could have avoided all the drama, but no, he had to be selfish. Also, fun fact, Sid and Marty Krofft actually sued McDonald's for ripping off H.R. Pufnstuf with their McDonaldland characters, and they won, which means Mayor McCheese and the Hamburglar are legally confirmed knockoffs of a trippy 70s kids show. Next up is Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. This was the heartwarming tale of two brothers, Johnny and Scott, who find a sea monster named Sigmund that had been disowned by his own family for refusing to scare people. Yeah, in this universe, being too nice gets you kicked out of your home. Sigmund's brothers, Blurp and Slurp, because of course that was their names, spent every episode trying to capture him, while the human boys tried to hide him in their clubhouse. So basically it was E.T., if you replaced an alien with a seaweed-covered Muppet and gave it a laugh track. And then there was Land of the Lost, which was a complete genre shift into a family that gets trapped in an alternate universe with dinosaurs and nightmare creatures. And let me tell you, the Sleestaks, these guys right here on my hat, they were terrifying. These humanoid lizard monsters moved at the speed of a DMV line and hissed menacingly, yet somehow they always managed to sneak up on people. The show also introduced me to one of the most annoying characters in television history, Chaka, the furry little Pakuni kid who grunted his way into my nightmares. No, Chaka, not good. Chaka was like if an Ewok and Jar Jar Binks had a love child, and I had to sit through it every Saturday morning. And then we had Dr. Shrinker, a show I still can't shake from my brain, mostly because the theme song is permanently lodged in my memory. You know, Dr. Shrinker, he's a madman with an evil mind. Yeah, this show, it was about a mad scientist who shrunk 3 teenagers down to 6 inches tall. The entire series was just them running away from him while he tried to capture them so that he could prove that his little shrinking ray was working. And that's it. That's the plot, every single episode. So basically, it was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but without Rick Moranis and with way more running through oversized props. And last, but definitely not least, from my Krofft brother mornings, we had Lidsville, starring my longtime friend Butch Patrick, who you might recognize as Eddie Munster. Now, if you thought the other Krofft shows were out there, buckle up, because this one was a doozy. It followed a teenage boy named Mark, who fell into a magician's top hat, as one does, and ended up in Lidsville, a land where hats were alive. Yes, the entire cast consisted of giant walking, talking hats that somehow embodied the personalities of the people who would wear them. Cowboy hats, cowboys. Chef hats, chefs. A gangster fedora? You better believe me, there was a mobster hat. And just like every Krofft show, the plot revolved around Mark trying to get home, but being thwarted at every turn. You'd think the kid would just find another hat to jump into, but nope. So, now, looking back at these shows, sentient hats, lizard people, sea monster outcasts, a flute that everyone wanted to steal. How did I turn out fairly normal? I mean, my entire childhood was shaped by what can only be described as hallucinatory fever dreams. But you know what? I wouldn't change a thing. These shows were weird, wild, and completely unforgettable. And honestly, today's kids' shows could never capture the same magic or unhinged chaos that the Krofts brought to our Saturday mornings. So, if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, or if I just unlocked some repressed childhood memories, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and let me know in the comments which of these shows traumatized, entertained you the most. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.